go for an exercise on subject of agreement. We've already discussed the rules in detail. We'll go for an exercise based only on those rules. We need to have very logical reason when you go for every question. Come to the first question. We'll go for something on fill in the blanks first. Sumesh as well as Ramesh dash cunning. We have discussed the rule regarding as well as along with, together with, in addition to, accompanied by, besides. The rule says give importance only to the first subject. So our focus must be only on the first subject. And the first subject here is Sumesh, singular. The verb must also be singular. Sumesh as well as Ramesh is cunning. We can go for one more rule here, eliminating the middleman. We have two nouns before the verb. One is Sumesh and the other one is Ramesh. So going for eliminating the middleman, we can eliminate the noun Ramesh. We have only one noun left here, Sumesh, singular. The verb must also be singular, is cunning. Come to the next one. Neither Manohar nor you dash present. Either or neither nor, not only but also, the rule we discussed, focus only on the second subject. The verb depends only on the second subject. The second subject here is you. So we need to focus only on this subject, you. Now as I told you, in the exceptions regarding subject of agreement, with you, the verb must always be plural. We can never find a singular verb with you. No matter what, in all the cases with you, the verb must be plural. So based on that, was is eliminated. The answer must be neither Manohar nor you were present. Neither Manohar nor you were absent. Come to the next one. The committee dash selected its chairman. The committee is a collective noun. The committee is a collective noun. The rule regarding collective nouns are taken as singular. When a sentence talks about a collective noun getting divided, the verb in the sentence must be plural. Committee is a collective noun. This sentence doesn't talk about the collective noun getting divided. So no exception here. The verb along with the collective noun must be singular. The committee has selected its chairman. Now there's one more rule here actually. Its is a pronoun. We did not discuss it. We'll discuss in detail when we move on to pronouns, the topic pronouns. Its is a pronoun, a singular pronoun. If the subject is singular, the verb and the pronoun must also be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb and the pronoun must also be plural. Its is a singular pronoun, singular pronoun. The noun here is committee, singular. The verb must also be singular. Has selected its chairman. There is another rule to get the answer. Each of these metals dash found here. Each is an indefinite pronoun. Each, everyone, everybody, everything. Someone, somebody, something. Anyone, anybody, anything. No one, nobody, nothing, none. The rule regarding indefinite pronouns, whenever you find an indefinite pronoun in a sentence, no other rule applies there. Just conclude that the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. So we have an indefinite pronoun in the sentence, each, telling us that the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. Each of these metals is found here. It sounds incorrect but grammatically correct. Come on, next one. The great leader and politician dash alive. We have and in this statement. When and connects to similar entities, the subject is singular. When and connects to different entities, the subject is plural. The great leader and politician. The great is used only once. And the great refers to leader and politician. So meaning of this statement is there's only one person here. And the same person is leader as well as politician. There's only one person in this statement. Subject is singular. The verb must also be singular. The great leader and politician is alive. If it is the great leader and the great politician, that means two persons. Then the subject must be plural. So the great leader and the great politician are alive. The great leader and politician is alive. There's only one person here and the same person playing two roles. Come on, next one. Every boy and every girl in the class dash punished. Now in this sentence we have and. Even though we have and in this sentence, in this case, the and rule is not applicable because we have an indefinite pronoun here, every. I told you while discussing the rules and the previous question as well, whenever you find an indefinite pronoun in a sentence, no other rule applies there. No other rule applies there. Just conclude that the subject is singular. So in this statement, even though and is there, in this case the and rule is not applicable because we have an indefinite pronoun, every, telling us that the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. So every boy and every girl in the class is, options are was, were, so was punished. Sounds absolutely incorrect but completely fine. Every boy and every girl in the class was punished. Come to the next one. She is one of the greatest musicians dash ever lived. I go for that here. That dash ever lived. She is one of the greatest musicians is wrong. She is one of the greatest musicians that dash ever lived. That is a relative pronoun. The rule regarding relative pronouns, we're going to focus on the noun that comes immediately before relative pronoun and the verb that comes immediately after it. If that noun is singular, that verb must also be singular. Similarly, if that noun is plural, that verb must also be plural. That is a relative pronoun. The noun that comes immediately before that is musicians, plural. So the verb that comes immediately after that must also be plural. So she is one of the greatest musicians that have ever lived. Now the meaning of this statement is many great musicians lived, and among the many greatest musicians lived, and among the greatest musicians that lived, she is just one among them. So she is one of the greatest musicians that have ever lived. Come on, next statement. Most of the children dash their time. Most of is a determiner telling us about the quantity of the noun, of every noun or any noun. Most of the children means the word most of is telling us about the quantity of the noun children. Most of becomes a determiner. Now as we discussed, determiners don't deserve importance. Just neglect them. We need to focus only on the noun in the sentence. If the noun is singular, the verb must also be singular. If the noun is plural, the verb must also be plural. Most of is a determiner, forget about it. The noun here is children, plural. The verb must also be plural. Most of the children utilize their time. Utilize is plural. Utilizes is singular because of the S. You should not get confused between verb singular and verb plural. When there is S, ES or IES to a verb, the verb is singular. If no S, no ES, no IES, that means the verb is plural. So most of the children utilize their time. Come on, next one. The committee dash divided in their opinions. The committee is a collective noun. And in this sentence, the collective noun committee is getting divided. When a sentence talks about a collective noun getting divided, the verb in the sentence must be plural. So verb in this sentence must be plural. So the committee were divided in their opinions. That is one reason. If I have to give one more reason, and that too based on pronouns, their opinions, there is a plural pronoun. I told you we'll go for this rule in detail when we discuss the topic pronouns. The pronoun here is plural. If the subject is plural, the verb and the pronoun must also be plural. If the subject is singular, the verb and the pronoun must also be singular. There is a plural pronoun. The committee here must be taken as plural because it's getting divided. The verb in the statement must be plural. So committee were divided in their opinions. Getting it? Come on, next one. An army of soldiers dashed to arrive. The blank must appear in that. The verb must appear in this blank. Before the verb, we have two nouns. One is an army and the other one is soldiers. We have two nouns before the verb. So which rule? Eliminating the middleman. The noun that comes in the middle is soldiers. So this noun gets eliminated. Now we have just one noun left, that is army. We have two rules here. One reason is an army. And an always tell us that the subject is singular. One more reason, army is a collective noun. Collective nouns always carry a singular verb with them. So an army of soldiers is to arrive. Getting it? 3 times 5. Understand the meaning. Actually, whenever you go for a sentence, the first thing is trying to understand the meaning of a sentence. Only then think about the rule. 3 times 5 dash 15. 3 times 5 in the sense, 3 times the digit 5. That's the meaning. The digit 5 is singular. Digit 1 is singular. The digit 2 is singular. The digit 3 is singular. 2 boys, 3 boys, 4 boys, all these are different. 3 times 5 in the sense, 3 times the digit 5. 3 times 5 in the sense, 3 times is telling us about the number of times we have to use the digit 5. So 3 times here becomes a determiner. It is not a noun here. 3 times here becomes a determiner. Determiners don't deserve importance, so you forget about 3 times. The noun here is the digit 5. The digit 5 is singular, verb must also be singular. 3 times 5 is 15. If I say 2 times 3 dash 6. 2 times 3 in the sense, 2 times the digit 3. That's the meaning. 2 times the digit 3 is the meaning of the statement. 2 times becomes a determiner here. You forget about it. The noun here is the digit 3, singular. The verb must also be singular. 2 times 3 is 6. Similarly, 3 times 5 is 15. So everything depends on our understanding of the sentence before thinking about the rule. Come next one. Mia wants to teach you, semicolon, so dash Rakesh. There's a rule regarding semicolon. We'll discuss I'll tell you in detail when we move on to reading comprehension, para jumbles now. This is one of the important concepts in reading comprehension that will surely help us eliminate options and get the answer. Mia wants to teach you, so dash Rakesh. Now this blank must be filled with a verb. When you find a blank that has to be filled with a verb, see which noun is related to that verb. If that noun is singular, that verb must also be singular. If that noun is plural, that verb must also be plural. Mia wants to teach you, so dash Rakesh. The noun related to this verb is Rakesh. Rakesh is a noun related to this verb. And Rakesh is a singular noun. So this blank must be filled with a singular verb. Based on that, does is eliminated. Do is eliminated. It must be does. Do is plural. Does is singular because of the es. So Mia wants to teach you, so does Rakesh. The meaning of this statement is Mia wants to teach you, Rakesh also wants to teach you. There's a meaning of this sentence. Come next one. Building after building dash built. Cities after cities is a wrong usage. Boys after boys is a wrong usage. Girls after girls is a wrong usage. It must be village after village, city after city, boy after boy, girl after girl. Building after building, buildings after buildings becomes a wrong usage. Building after building dash built. Now this blank must be filled with a verb, as you know, because the options are verbs. Before the verb we have 2 nouns, building, then another building. We have 2 nouns before the verb, so we have to go for the method. The very first rule we discussed, eliminating the middleman. The noun that comes to building is, in the middle is building, so this one gets eliminated. Now we have only 1 noun left, building, singular, verb must also be singular. Building after building was built. Getting it? City after city was exploited, etc. Come to the next one. We'll go for something on spotting the errors. We'll find out which part of a sentence contains the error. The chairman and the headmaster of the school is attending a meeting in the auditorium. The chairman and the headmaster, we have and in this statement. So we need to find out whether and is connecting to similar entities or different entities here. As I told you earlier, if and connects to similar entities, the subject is singular. If and connects to different entities, the subject is plural. The chairman and the headmaster of the school means and is connecting to different entities here because the is used twice. The first the refers to principal, The second the refers to headmaster. The is used twice in this statement. That means and is connecting to different entities here. One person is chairman, the other person is headmaster. Two persons are here. The subject is singular. The verb must also be singular. So the chairman and the headmaster of the school are attending a meeting in the auditorium. Therein this statement is in part B. The headmaster, the chairman and the headmaster of the school are attending a meeting in the auditorium. Come on, next one. Either of the lanes lead to my house. Now when you take a sentence, you must be able to identify, as I said, based on which topic there is. Either of the lanes lead to my house. In this statement, either is there, but or is not there. The rule we discussed, when either appears without or when neither appears without nor, it means that the subject of the sentence is singular. When either appears without or when neither appears without nor, that means the subject is singular. And if the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. Come to the statement once again. Either of the lane lead to my house. Either is there or is not there. Subject is singular. The verb must also be singular. So either of the lanes lead is wrong. It must be leads to my house. There is in part B. Either of the lanes leads to my house. And leads is singular because of the S. Come on, next one. Neither of these two documents have to be submitted by you. The same rule. Neither is there nor is not there. Neither without nor, either without or. The subject is singular. The verb must also be singular. Neither of these two documents have is incorrect here. It must be has to be submitted by. Neither of these two documents has to be submitted by you. Therein this statement is in part B. Come on, next one. Neither my friend nor my cousin were able to help him. Now in this statement we have two entities. One entity is my friend and the other entity is my cousin. And the relationship between the two entities is shown using neither nor. Either or, neither nor, not only but also. The rule says focus only on the second subject. The verb depends on the second subject. The second subject here is my cousin, singular. So verb must also be singular. It cannot be word because it's a plural verb. It must be was able to help him in his work. Neither my friend nor my cousin was able to help him in his work. Therein this statement is in part C. Come on, next one. Shakespeare's Hamlet have been read by me many times. Now first we need to identify the subject in the sentence because the verb depends on the subject. Shakespeare's Hamlet, Shakespeare cannot be taken as a noun here because of the apostrophe. Shakespeare's Hamlet is the noun here. And Shakespeare's Hamlet is the name of a single play. Single play. So subject here is singular. The verb must also be singular. Shakespeare's Hamlet has been read by me many times. Therein this statement is in part B. So identify the subject and the verb always depends on the subject. Shakespeare's Hamlet has been read by me many times. Come to the next one. Raman was one of the great scientists who have done many scientific researches. One of the great scientists is a wrong usage. One of the great scientists is a correct usage. Raman was one of the great scientists who have done many scientific researches. Who is a relative pronoun. Who, whom, that, which. We have to focus on the noun that comes immediately before relative pronoun and the verb that comes immediately after it. That noun and that verb must be in agreement with each other. Raman was one of the great scientists who. The noun that comes immediately before who is scientist, and scientist is a plural noun. So the verb that comes immediately after who must also be plural. The verb that comes immediately after who is have. Have is a plural verb, so that concept is completely fine. Raman was one of the great scientists who have done many scientific researches. The meaning of this statement is many scientists have done many scientific researches. And among the scientists who did scientific researches, Raman was just one among them. So Raman was one of the great scientists who have done many scientific researches. This statement is grammatically fine. There's no error in this statement. Now here, there's no error in this statement regarding subject verb agreement. We're thinking only about the rules regarding this topic. Later we'll combine all the rules and do many exercises. Come on, next one. My sister who live in Delhi has come to stay with me. My sister who live in Delhi has come to stay with me. Who is a relative pronoun. The same rule. We're going to focus on the noun that comes immediately before it, the verb that comes immediately after it. The noun that comes immediately before who is my sister, singular. The verb that comes immediately after who is live. Live is a plural verb. The noun coming immediately before who is singular, the verb that comes after it must also be singular. So it cannot be live, it must be lives. So the error is in part B. We'll find out whether the rest of the sentence is grammatically correct or not. My sister who lives in Mumbai has come to stay with me. Now from the meaning, who has come to stay with me? My sister has come to stay with me. My sister is singular, has is also singular. That is based on the meaning. My sister who lives in Delhi dash come to stay with me. I go for a blank here. And this blank must be filled with a verb. We have two nouns before the verb. One is my sister and the other one is Delhi. Eliminating the middleman, Delhi will get eliminated. My sister singular, verb must also be singular. Has come to stay with me is completely fine. Getting it? Right. Come on, next one. The number of students applying was so large that the school had to stop issuing application forms. I gave this as an exception towards the end of subject verb agreement. The number of and a number of. The number of is a usage taken as singular, whereas a number of is a usage taken as plural. So if the number of is there in a statement, the verb in the sentence must be singular. If a number of is there, the verb in the sentence must be plural. In this statement, we have the number of, telling us that the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. The number of students applying were so large is wrong. It must be was so large that the school had to stop issuing application forms. There is in part B. Come to next one. Now we have other rules coming in this sentence actually. As we are going topic wise, we'll discuss those in those topics after discussing the rules. So will be followed by that. So large that. In this statement, so is followed by that. That rule is completely fine. In fact, this rule comes in the topic conjunctions. Come on, next one. She walked 5 kilometers, which are really a great distance for a woman like her, who is not only old but also ill. She walked 5 kilometers, which is a relative pronoun. Focus on the noun that comes immediately before it, the verb that comes immediately after it. The noun that comes immediately before which is 5 kilometers, and 5 kilometers is distance, measurement. Measurements carry a singular verb with them. I told you this when you discussed the rules. Come to the next question. She walked 5 kilometers, which are really a great distance for a woman like her, who is not only ill, who is not only old but also ill. She walked 5 kilometers, which is a relative pronoun. We're going to focus on the noun that comes immediately before it, the verb that comes immediately after it. The noun that comes immediately before which is 5 kilometers, distance. Now as I told you, measurements carry a singular verb with them. So we're going to focus on the verb that comes immediately after which. The verb that comes immediately after which is are. It cannot be plural, it must be singular. So that is the error. It cannot be are, it must be is. She walked 5 kilometers, which is really a great distance. That is one reason. The rule regarding relative pronouns. One more reason. It says a great distance. A great distance. Now as I said, distance, and an always tell us that the verb in the sentence must be singular. There's another reason to make it is instead of are. So she walked 5 kilometers, which is really a great distance For a woman like her, who is not only old but also ill. Therein, this statement is in part A. Getting it? Come to the next question. Many a boy have listened to her speeches. Many a boy have listened to her speeches. Many is a determiner. Determiners don't deserve importance. So forget about many. The noun here is a boy, singular. The verb must also be singular. Many a boy has listened to her. Therein, this statement is in part B. Now, many a boy is the same as many boys. Many boys have listened to her speeches. Grammatically correct. Many a boy has listened to her speeches, also grammatically correct. Going from the left to the right, there is in part B. Because many a boy is a correct usage, so there is no error in part A. Then if I say have, part B doesn't go with part A, so error in this case must be in part B. So in this context, the correct sentence must be many a boy has listened to her speeches. Come on, next one. Understand the meaning of the statement. The whole block of shops, including 2 flats, were destroyed in fire. The whole block of shops, including 2 flats, were destroyed in fire. From the meaning, what got destroyed in fire? The whole block got destroyed in fire. That is the meaning of the statement. The whole block, singular, verb must also be singular. That is based on the meaning. Now we have 2 nouns before the verb. Forget about including 2 shops, because 2 shops were included in the whole block. Actually, shops and 2 flats were included in the whole block, and the whole block got destroyed in fire. That's the meaning of the statement. We have 2 nouns before the verb. One is a whole block and the other one is shops. Going for eliminating the middleman, shops will get eliminated. The whole block, singular, verb must also be singular, was destroyed in fire. Therein, this statement is in part C. Come to the next one. With regard to the implementation of the details of the suggestion, the council was divided in their opinion. With regard to the implementation of the details of the suggestion, the council was divided in their opinion. The council is a collective noun. And when a sentence talks about a collection noun getting divided or separated, the verb in the sentence must be plural. The council was divided. This sentence talks about the collection noun council getting divided, so verb must be plural. It cannot be was divided, it must be were divided. Therein, this statement is in part B. Now, implementation is a noun, ION word. Suggestion is also a noun, ION word. I'll tell you in detail while discussing parts of speech. Words ending with ION, MENT, AGE, ITY, these are usually nouns. One word can be used in different parts of speech. The part of speech of word depends on the sentence in which a word appears. We'll go for it in detail anyway. Words ending with ION, MENT, AGE, ITY, these are usually nouns. Come to the next statement. Understand the meaning. The various consequences of the decision taken by the president was not foreseen by the members. The various consequences of the decision taken by the president was not foreseen by the members. From the meaning, what did not get foreseen by the president? The various consequences, that's the meaning. If I ask you what did not get foreseen by the president, the answer is various consequences. It means various consequences did not get foreseen by the president. Various consequences, plural, verb must also be plural. It cannot be was, it must be word. We got the answer based on the meaning. Right. Now we'll go for the rule. Various is a determiner, telling us about the quantity of the noun consequences. Determiners don't deserve importance. You forget about various. Of the decision, decision is an ION word, noun. And simple reason is the decision. Now, a, an and the are always used with nouns. A boy, an umbrella, the boy, the boys. A, an and the are always used with nouns. So, the decision means decision becomes a noun here. We have 2 nouns before the verb. One is consequences and the other one is decision. Eliminating the middleman, decision will get eliminated. Now we have only one noun left. Consequences, plural. The verb must also be plural. Were not foreseen by the members. There is in part C. Come to the next question. 3/4 of the cake have been eaten. 3/4 is a determiner telling us about the quantity of the noun cake here. And determiners don't deserve importance. You forget about 3/4. Now we'll focus only on the noun in the statement. The noun here is cake, singular. Verb must also be singular. 3/4 of the cake has been eaten. That is in part C. Now the meaning of this statement is, one cake was there and I took 3/4 of it. Like I took a piece of it, a part of it. I took 3/4 of the cake. So 3/4 of the cake has been eaten. That is in part C. Come to the next question. A great many child have been successful. We have to go from the left to the right and identify which part contains here. Anyway, we'll never go from the right to the left. A great many child. Now if I say many great children. Many great children is the same as many a great child. Many great children is the same as many a great child. There's nothing like great many children. There's nothing like great many a great child is correct. Nothing like a great many child. Come to the statement now. A great many child is a wrong usage. So it's very clear that there is in part A. Now many great children is a correct usage. Many great children is a correct usage. And many great children is the same as many a great child. The first one is colloquial, the second one is standard. My question is, in this sentence, it must be many great children or many a great child. That is my question. We'll go to the rest of the sentence once again. Have been successful. The verb in the sentence is have. And have is a plural verb. If the verb is plural, the subject must also be plural. Subject plural, verb plural, subject singular, verb singular. Many great children, forget about many. The noun here is great children, plural. The verb is also plural, have. So it must be many great children. Many a great child, forget about many, determiner. The noun here is a great child, singular. Then the verb must also be singular. The verb in this sentence is plural, so subject must also be plural. So in this context, the correct sentence must be many great children have been successful. And that is the same as many a great child has been successful. So error is in part A. Come to the next one. Understand the meaning of it. Drinking and driving are a main cause of accidents. In this sentence, now cause means reason. In this sentence, how many reasons are we talking about? Only one reason. It says a main cause of accidents. A main cause means one main cause of accidents. So in this statement, we are talking only about one reason. The simple reason is the article a, telling us that the subject is singular. The verb must also be singular. So it means that drinking and driving must be taken as a single entity here. Drinking and driving is a single cause. So that means the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. Drinking and driving is a main cause of accidents. We got the answer. I say drinking is a noun, driving is also a noun here in this sentence. I told you in the session on the rules, to identify the noun as sentence, we need to ask only one question word, that is what. If you are getting the answer to the question what, that becomes a noun in the sentence. And we can ask the question what based only on the words given in the sentence. Come to the statement now. Drinking and driving is a main cause of accidents. What is a main cause of accidents? What is a main cause of accidents? The answer is drinking and driving. So we're getting the answer to the question what as drinking and driving. So drinking becomes a noun, driving also becomes a noun. Any ing word acting as a noun is called a gerund. So drinking and driving both are gerunds here. Right? Drinking is a gerund, driving is also a gerund. Any ing word acting as a noun is called a gerund. So drinking is a gerund, driving is also a gerund. The correct sentence must be drinking and driving is a main cause of accidents. The next one. The US don't want India in the Security Council. The US is a collection of many states. It's a collection of states. That means the US must be taken as singular, like a collective noun. The subject here is a US, singular. The verb must also be singular. Don't is a plural verb because do is plural. It cannot be don't, it must be doesn't. Now doesn't is a short form of does not. The short form of do not is don't. Did not is didn't. D-I-D-N apostrophe T is not pronounced as didn't, it's pronounced as didn't. Has not is hasn't. Have not is haven't. Had not is hadn't. Is not is isn't. Are not is aren't. Was not is wasn't. Were not is weren't. Am not is not amn't. There's nothing like amn't. The short form of am not, the exact short form of am not is ain't. A-I-N apostrophe T. I ain't a good boy means I'm not a good boy. But in the case of question tags, we don't use ain't. Instead of ain't, we use aren't as the short form of am not. The short form of should not is shouldn't. Need not is needn't. Must not is mustn't. There's a usage like mustn't. M-U-S-T-N apostrophe T. It is not mustn't, it is mustn't. Should not is shouldn't. Must not is mustn't. Will not is won't. Nothing like willn't. Shall not is shan't. There's nothing like shalln't. Shall not is shan't. The short form of shall not is shan't. S-H-A-N apostrophe T. So does not is doesn't. Does is a singular verb because of the es. The US doesn't want India in the Security Council. Therein this statement is in part B. Getting it? Now we'll go for some questions on sentence improvement. Now spotting that and sentence improvement are based on the rules of the same topics. Many a person would agree to the proposal. In the case of sentence improvement, we have to find out whether the given sentence is grammatically correct or not. If it is not grammatically correct, we have to go for an option that makes it correct. If the given statement is completely fine, our answer must be no improvement. Many a person would agree to the proposal. Many a person is a correct usage. And many a person is the same as many persons. Come to option A. So given statement is completely fine. Leave it there. Come to option A. Many person is a wrong usage. It must be many a person. Option A is eliminated. Come to B. A many person is wrong. Must be many a person. Many a person, many a boy, many a girl. A many person is a wrong usage. Eliminated. Come to option C. Many a persons. I told you a and an are always used with singular countable nouns. Persons is a plural noun. We cannot use a and an with plural nouns. So many a persons becomes a wrong usage. Eliminated. The given statement is completely fine. The answer must be option D. No improvement. Come to the next one. Neither I nor my cousin goes there. Neither nor rule is give importance only to the second subject. The second subject here is my cousin, singular. So the verb in this sentence must also be singular. The verb in this sentence is goes, singular, must be considered. Leave it. Come to option A. Neither I do nor do my cousin. Now this sentence is grammatically wrong because of redundancy, repetition. And you can check the order. I do. I is a subject here. Do is a verb. Do my cousin. Do is a subject here. My cousin is a. Do is a verb here. My cousin is a subject. The order is not fine. Eliminated. Neither do I nor my cousin will. Now the sentence, the whole statement is in the present tense. Do is present tense. Will is future tense. There is no tense consistency here. There is a concept called tense consistency. If a sentence begins in the present, up to the end it must be in the present. Past the same, future the same. We'll go for it in detail in tenses. Eliminated. Come to see. Neither I go nor my cousin go. I go, with I the verb must be plural. Go is a plural verb, so I go is a correct usage. Nor my cousin go. My cousin is a subject here, singular. Go is a verb that is plural. If If a subject is singular, the verb can never be plural. If a subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. So my cousin go is a wrong usage. Eliminate, the answer must be option D. The given statement is completely fine. Neither I nor my cousin goes there. Come to the next one. A pair of spectacles have been bought by him. Now this part, the verb is given as the options. A pair of spectacles have been bought by him. I keep a blank here. We have two nouns before the blank. One is a pair and the other one is spectacles. Two nouns are there before the verb, so we have to go for eliminating the middleman. The noun that comes in the middle is spectacles, so this noun gets eliminated. Now we have only one noun left, a pair. A tells us that the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. So have been bought is grammatically wrong. Based on that, option D is eliminated. Would been bought is also grammatically wrong. You must say would be bought. Nothing like would been bought. There's no such structure in English. We'll discuss structures and details in the next topic, that is tenses. So option C is eliminated. Has been bought must be considered. Has being, there is nothing in English like has plus being plus ing. Has plus being is not there in the language, eliminated. So B is gone, D is gone, C is gone. The answer must be option. Getting it? Come to the next one. His report brings out a number of cases of inequality. His report brings out. His report singular, the verb must also be singular. Brings is a verb here, singular, that is completely fine. Based on this rule, we can eliminate option A, because A says bring out, gone, fine. Come to given statement now. His report brings out a number of cases, a number of boy, a number of girl, a number of book. All these are wrong usages. It must be a number of boys, a number of girls, a number of books. So a number of case is wrong. It must be a number of cases. So given statement is grammatically wrong. Option D is eliminated. Come to Bombay. His report brings out, correct, a numbers of cases. There is no usage like a numbers of. It must be a number of or the number of. Based on that, option B is also eliminated. Now we have only one option left. Now we'll see whether option C is grammatically correct or not. His report brings out. His report is singular. Brings is also singular. Completely fine. Brings out a number of, correct usage, cases. A number of boys, a number of cases. Completely fine. Of inequality, the answer is option C. Come to the next one. Either Ram or Sudhir is sure to be selected to the school cricket team. Either or, the rule says focus only on the second subject. The second subject here is Sam, singular. The verb must also be singular. Based on that, options A and B are eliminated because A and B say are. Now we have two options left, C and D. Come to C. Either Ram or Sam will being, there's nothing like will being, there's no structure in English like will being. This is a wrong one. All these come in tenses in the next topic that we'll discuss in detail. So C is eliminated, only one option is left. We'll see whether the given statement is grammatically correct or not. Either Ram or Sudhir is. The second subject here is Sam, singular. Either Ram or Sam is. The second subject is Sam, singular. The verb is singular, completely fine. Sure to be selected as school cricket team. The answer must be option D. So we have selected eliminated options based only on the rules we discussed in subject verb agreement. So this exercise was on that topic. We'll go topic wise, as I told you. We'll complete the rules. We'll go for an exercise on that topic. Once we complete the basics and the exercise of all the topics, we'll club all the topics and do the previous questions and do some kind of workshop. Hope it's very clear to you. And when you go for a question on grammar, as I said, first think about the basics of this topic. I have taken you through the rules in detail. We have done exercise on almost all the rules. We have selected eliminated options based only on the concepts we discussed. Thank you.